Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
First at 4, we begin with brand new information in the case of the missing Skelton boys. Local 4's Sandra Ali has just learned the human remains found last year in Missoula, Montana do not belong to the missing brothers who disappeared from Morenci 7 years ago. Missoula County Sheriff's Department confirms the bones found in a shed are not a match for Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton. Make sure to stay with Local 4. Our Sandra Ali will join us on Local 4 News at 5. She spoke face-to-face with the boy's father last week and asked him about that Montana investigation. And breaking news in Detroit, police have found a missing 3-year-old girl who was allegedly taken by her non-custodial mother. Police say Chanel Perry was found safe and in good condition this afternoon on the city's west side. They say the mother, Lucia Perry, suffers from bipolar schizophrenia and takes medication. Police say Chanel's father was away from the home Thursday night when his 17-year-old son let Lucia in the house. He allegedly went upstairs, and when he came down, they were both gone. Sean Lay is working this story right now, and we will hear from a neighbor about these new developments tonight at 5. It is a very busy Friday. At this hour, we are under a severe weather alert. Snow has been falling all day, and we are not done yet. This is the current radar. Take a look. We are watching it very, very closely. In West Michigan, a 38-vehicle pileup has eastbound I-94 shut down near Kalamazoo. The crash happened during heavy snowfall and involved at least 22 cars and 16 semi-trucks. Michigan State troopers are on the scene and say all injuries are believed to be minor. I-94 in the area is expected to be closed for at least another hour. Coming up, we will check on I-75 in Oakland County, and Paula Tutman is live in Rockwood with the story of neighbors helping neighbors during the storm. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Ben Bailey. So where do things stand, Ben?
Paul is going to need the high numbers on that stick in some spots, that's for sure. 4 live radar showing us what we predicted yesterday. This was going to be the hardest part of the storm to get through this evening drive, and it looks like it's bearing that out. As we look through the radar, we had been seeing some of the more intense snowfall, some of the heaviest bands in our northern suburbs. But right now, we're seeing that snow intensify in a stripe here, pretty much from just north of the airport, right along Ford Road into the city. And so some of the places that we're seeing light snow earlier, that's starting to come down at a pretty good clip. And then you move a little bit further north, and some of those spots that we're seeing heavier snow lightened up a bit, but you can kind of see the northern edge of this. There's dry conditions there in the northern parts of Genesee, Lapeer, and Sanilac counties. You're still under the advisory, and you'll probably get some more snow, but at least for right now, you're getting a little bit of a break. And some of the places where we thought the totals would be the highest, it's just light snow down here towards the state line right now. It gets a little bit more intense towards some of those heavier bands in the middle of our metro zone. But don't worry, there's more to go. In fact, especially down here towards the state line. So timing it out, you can see how this snow develops, stays with us at least widespread, moderate, and heavy at times through about 7 o'clock. And as of that point, we will see more snow, but it's pretty much going to be confined south of the city and most likely just in Monroe and Lenawee County, especially down towards the state line. That's going to continue till about midnight tonight, and then everything is done. Mother Nature finally shuts off the snow, and we get a little bit of a break until the weekend stuff arrives. So winter storm warnings remain in effect until midnight for areas south of 8 Mile. North of there, we've got a winter weather advisory in effect till midnight. It's still going to be a mess on the roads, even after the snow stops falling. But as far as the bottom line, that widespread snow ends at 7. 1 to 3 inches is what most of us can expect additionally on top of what we already have. And those impacts still going to be major, as we said, until these roads get cleaned up. Karen?
Well, it is quite a job ahead. In many areas, the morning rush was much lighter than usual as many people avoided the snowy roads. You are looking live at I-75 in Oakland County right now, and that is where Tim Pamplin is driving, and he's bringing us expert advice during the next 90 minutes. Hi, Tim.
That's right, Karen. We got a chance to speak to the Oakland County Sheriff's Department earlier. They've got some tips for handling this weather and driving in these conditions. Now, I just saw a rather impressive sight coming down 75. 4 wide snow plows taking up the entire freeway and one in the back spreading the salt. Unfortunately, we just had a heavy burst of snow come through, so it's kind of wiped out everything they just did. Now, the best advice is stay home. A lot of people have done that. But like I said, Oakland County Sheriff's Deputy Trevor Sanford said if you do have to head out, well, remember the Boy Scouts motto.
if you do have to go out in weather like this, make sure that you're prepared. Make sure your vehicle's ready for it. Make sure your tires are in good working order. Your windshield wipers are in good working order. Because you don't want something as simple as that to cause you to get stranded out when it's in this inclement weather.
That's right, make sure you're prepared. Now, we finally found some pavement here, but it's the lane that I don't want to be in. So, southbound 75 near Square Lake Road. We finally got some pavement, but like I'm saying, as you can see on the rest of the freeway, it's atrocious. All the roads are bad. Back to you, Karen, in the studio.
Quick question, Tim, about how fast are you going? It's hard to tell.
Right now, I'm doing 35 miles an hour here.
All right, definitely going to take a long time to get home. We'll check back with you at 5 and 6. Please drive safely, Tim. Right now we are headed to Monroe, and that is where Paula Tutman has been all day long. How are things down there, Paula?
Hey there, Karen. Well, first of all, you can't have a snow event like this without finding a 2-yardstick. I wasn't sure this was even big enough. Actually, it was. I've been seeking it in various places in the snow, and I'm getting anywhere between 6 to 9 inches, depending on the drift, but apparently that is plenty enough snow to find angels. Three friends, 2 shovels, big hearts. While it would be easy to say that snow is your neighbor's problem, that would not be the case for 19-year-old Jakari, 20-year-old Antonio, and 24-year-old Shaquana, who this morning woke up, grabbed what they had, and went out looking for neighbors to assist in their Monroe community.
Just thinking, like, let's just go outside and help some people that couldn't shovel their snow because we figured it's going to be a whole bunch of snow.
This neighbor on La Plaisance had already left her home for the day.
Man, she'll be so happy, watch.
They don't know her name, only that she seems to work a lot. And she's older. They've seen her from a distance, but they know when she gets home, instead of having to plow through the snow in her drive, she'll have a surprise waiting for her.
We just walked past and figured that she wouldn't be able to get in, so we just did it.
Well, on a day like today, where the snow just keeps on coming, it would be very easy to be a shovel for hire, particularly when you're strong, healthy, and willing.
Shoveling snow free, shoveling snow free.
That is not what this is.
Like, whoever need, like, they snow shovel, we coming, we knocking first, though. If we don't know you, because we don't want you to just think like, oh, they want us to pay them, and we don't got it, so we just gonna knock on. We just doing it for the, you feel me, for the love.
Most times, they don't even see the neighbor, or the neighbor doesn't see them. They're not even looking for thank yous. They just want to be snow angels for the day, who shovel fast and quickly disappear in search of others to help. And that is the true spirit of Michigan, making friends with the seasons and making friends with your neighbors. Karen, the bad thing about this yardstick is it shows how short I really am. Stay with us. Actually, actually, stay with us. Listen, at 5 o'clock, we're actually going to revisit the morning commute. We ran into a delivery guy who actually, when he lightens his load, it gets more difficult for him to drive. And he shows us how he navigates the snow while making deliveries. It's kind of one of those things you go, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. I never thought about that. So I'll see you at 5.
We look forward to that, and kudos to that story with those 3 angels. That's just wonderful, wonderful news. So thank you, Paula. We appreciate it.
I know.
Good. I love
them.
good stories
Thank
like
you.
that. They're great. All right, thanks, Paula. Well, we could see more snow this weekend, as Ben said, so don't forget, you can get weather alerts right on your phone. It's in our local forecasters app. Download it for free in your app store. All you have to do is search WDIV. For the second time in 3 weeks, the government shut down after some early morning drama in Congress. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom with the agreement that many Republicans and Democrats are pretty upset about.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. Congress again missed a midnight deadline, but this time the government shutdown only lasted about 8.5 hours. Now, after the Senate passed the plan, it went to the House. The House voted at 5:30 in the morning to approve the plan by a vote of 240 to 186. 67 Republicans voted against the bill because it increased the debt ceiling, while 73 Democratic members voted for it. The massive budget deal doles out hundreds of billions of dollars for defense and domestic priorities. Now, President Trump signed the bill into law this morning, tweeting, quote, "This bill is a big victory for our military, but much waste in order to get Dems to vote." Fortunately, DACA not included in this bill. Negotiations to start now, end quote. Now, the lack of an immigration deal is the reason House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi says she was against the plan.
It does nothing to even advance, even with a commitment, without having passed the legislation first, to advance bipartisan legislation to protect dreamers.
My commitment to working together on an immigration measure that we can make law is a sincere commitment. Let me repeat. My commitment to working together on an immigration measure that we can make law is a sincere commitment. We will solve this DACA problem.
Now, after the vote passed in the Senate, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell kept his word to open the immigration debate for next week. Karen, we'll continue to monitor it for you. We'll have more coming up on the news at 5. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thanks very much, Kim. Appreciate that. Still had a big merger that did not happen, but actually have an impact on your phone bill. And of course, that is heading in the wrong direction. Vice President Mike Pence is walking a diplomatic tightrope in South Korea. We are going to show you how close he came to running into Kim Jong-un's sister. Up first, let's take another look at our live drive. This is I-75 southbound. The night cam's Tim Pamplin is showing us how the road conditions are. Still snow on the road, but you can see cars making it through those ruts for your tires. Right now, we are getting close to Big Beaver and Troy, so be careful if you are headed out. Our continuous live coverage of this snowstorm continues after the break. First at 4, even as much as the world is celebrating the Winter Olympics, tensions with North Korea hang over the games this year. While North Korea and South Korea are working together during the Olympics, these protesters are not buying the diplomatic outreach. They held this demonstration in Pyeongchang today. North Korea recently stopped a string of aggressive nuclear missile tests, but it's not clear if that will lead to meaningful changes from the rogue regime. Meantime, there is plenty of political theater from America's vice president. Mike Pence met with North Korean defectors while leading the U.S. delegation to the opening ceremony. His every move designed to send a message to Kim Jong-un, the Korean leader's sister, also in South Korea. And while diplomats are trying to keep them apart, take a look at this photo showing how close they came to bumping into each other. They ended up in the same VIP section at the opening ceremony. And speaking of that, on a lighter note, there was an amazing light show at the Olympic Stadium just ahead of the opening ceremony. We are told the show inside was also colorful, beautiful, and also had some surprises. You can see the big show tonight at 8 right here on Local 4, your home for the Winter Olympics. And as the Olympics kick into high gear, you will notice some programming changes here on Local 4. Ellen will be on at 2 p.m. during the week, followed by NBC's Olympic coverage from 3 to 5 p.m. You can get a First at 4 news update at clickondetroit.com with the day's top stories and a full weather report from Ben Bailey. And then Jeopardy is on at 7 p.m. Then we invite you into the Olympic Zone starting tomorrow at 7:30 and then Monday through Saturday during the Olympics. We're tracking the big stories at the games and, of course, the Michigan athletes going for the gold. It is a big 2 weeks on Local 4.
I already got hooked last night.
I had so much fun with the kids watching and
Skating
cheering.
and
Yeah, it
moguls,
was really cool. Well, Ben is back, and we are talking the big story, which is, boy, we're going to keep getting hit this weekend.
We are. A lot of folks heeded the warning. A lot of schools were canceled. A lot of folks stayed off the roads, but it is still coming, and we have really topped out the half-foot mark now in some spots. And it's Belleville, of all places, right in the heart of the area, that's got one of the higher totals. Clarkston, you're almost there at 5.8. Ann Arbor's got 5 inches of snow. In Manchester, you've checked in at 4.5 inches. Latest report from our reporter Sue Draub out there. 4 inches in Ann Arbor so far. And yes, we are expecting more, 1 to 3 inches more than what we already have on the ground. But from the wider view, you can see how this entire area is starting to compress. So we're going to see a very, or at least a smaller band from what we have seen earlier in the day, and that tail is still dragging all the way across parts of Illinois and into parts of Iowa. In fact, all the way back to the Quad Cities right now. But it is going to be thin. So once we get past 7 o'clock, there will still be some accumulating snow, but most of it is going to be in our south zone. And we have seen plenty of it so far. This is out in Van Buren Township. I feel sorry for that Volvo driver, but you can tell it is definitely snowing. We've seen a lot of dogs and cats playing in the snow. How about a fox looking for dinner? This is out in Washington Township. Out in Plymouth, they're going 2 by 2 to keep the streets clean, and kudos to all the folks that are working so hard to keep those roads safe for us. And when you're home and you've got nothing else to do, how about making snow cream? That's what one of our Storm Pins pictures is. Beautiful shot of that down in Riverview. Of course, we want to see how you are enjoying or getting through the headaches in your snow day. Storm Pins, best way to get us pictures and video. Right now, we've got that snow on top of us, and here we go to 7 o'clock, and you can see it's going to be drying out pretty quickly beyond that. By midnight, everybody's going to be dry, and we get a little bit of a break until this very weak little system starts rolling in here. This is early Saturday morning, maybe an inch in spots, and that's most likely in our south zone. And then Sunday, we get a little bit more accumulation. This looks to be 1 to 3 inches starting really early on Saturday morning, probably around sunrise, and stretching through most of the day on Sunday. There's a slight chance we could see a wintry mix mainly around Monroe County, but right now it does look like it should be all snow. 23 tonight, that's a low, and it's going to be above average for once. High temperatures, though, tomorrow not moving very far, and after that little burst of snow in the morning, second half is going to be cloudy and dry. 7-day forecast as we get into next week. Finally, some warmer temperatures and finally some sunshine and dry conditions Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, though, we go back to seeing precipitation, as right now 39 is what we're forecasting for a high. So we'll stay on top of this winter storm for the rest of tonight. Karen?
All right, Ben, we'll check back with you a little later. Still ahead, a legendary retail changing a very generous return policy, and it sounds like some greedy customers ruined it for the rest of us. Plus, what this guy did surprised everyone at the Winter Olympics. You'll hear why this moment is going viral when we come back. In today's trending stories, a lot of people are talking about LL Bean, the legendary retailer, changing its return policy for the first time in more than 100 years. Now, it used to accept returns for any reason, any time. Well, now LL Bean says it will have a 1-year limit on most returns to reduce growing abuse and fraud. It says returns of items that are destroyed, even picked out of the trash, have actually doubled in the past 5 years. Now, customers will have 1 year to make a return with a proof of purchase. Well, this story is trending also Friday afternoon. Some of you might see higher cell phone bills this year. T-Mobile and Sprint have both said they are going to cut back on the discounts they offer to customers. Both companies are shifting gears after talks of a merger broke down. Sprint also believes the quality of service is improving, which would mean it can charge a little more. All right, let's talk Olympics. Some events are already underway at the Winter Olympics, and something unusual happened before a hockey press conference. Take a listen.
Now you've been talking in your sleep, uh-oh, things you never say to me, uh-oh, I forget the rest of the words, sorry.
Normally during a mic check, you just say 1, 2, 3, but Adam Kiefer of Indiana gave this mini performance, and as you can imagine, it's going viral. By the way, he was trying to sing Just Give Me a Reason, the hit song from Pink, in case you were wondering. All right, tonight at 11, we have a special report from an Olympic gold medalist.
We're friends, we've trained together for years, but I've never actually been home with the Shipsapes. Is there anything, though, that fans don't know about you that you want people to know? Heading to their second Olympic Games, Maya and Alex Shibatani have set themselves up for a real shot at the podium in Pyeongchang.
What we've been working and training so hard for is that Olympic moment.
I'm Meryl Davis. How Maya and Alex are making their brother-sister connection a winning combination, why this Olympics is their paradise, and the faces they can't wait to see when they get home. Tonight at 11.
All right, thank you so much, Meryl. Of course, you can see the opening ceremony tonight at 8 o'clock right here on Local 4. Still ahead, we are under a severe weather alert, and snow is expected to fall into the evening. Ben Bailey taking a look at the timeline, and we'll have the very latest when we come back.
I was the victim of.
Oh, snow's been falling all day long. We are going to get a break.
We are.
So you have time to shovel and get ready for the next round.
We're already arguing whether there's going to be snow days on Monday.
Do you think there's a snow day Monday?
We do have more coming this weekend, but we've got first things first. We got to get through tonight, and 4 Live radar is showing that band of snow that was covering the entire area just a couple hours ago has now contracted, and you can see the northern edge pretty sharp there where it's actually drying out across parts of Lapeer, Genesee, and Sanilac counties, getting a little bit of a break down there around Monroe, but there are still some moderate and possibly heavy bands in the middle of this, and we will be seeing more accumulating snow as we get through the evening. Now, the winter storm warnings and the winter weather advisories both go until midnight, but a lot of the widespread snow is going to stop by 7. We'll have more coming up at 5.
All right, thank you, Ben. And we are back at a half hour with Local 4 News at 5 with a breaking story about the Skelton brothers. Make sure to join us then.